Are we live? Oh, I see the red button. I think we are live, Griffin. Oh
We are
boy.
live. It says it
I
in the
think
corner.
yeah, live. What is Oh, there we go. Let me mute myself. All right. What's going on, everybody? And welcome. Today is Friday, June 28th. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning on in here. This was an unannounced video, but this was a video I planned to do before the release of Spider-Man Far From Home. Spider-Man Far From Home comes out next week, July 2nd. And guys, I am super excited for that movie. And we got somebody in the chat already here, Terry T. What's going on, Terry? Thank you for tuning in to this live stream. But yes, I have a special guest right here with me, as you can tell by the title. And I've collabed with this guy many times before. He's a good buddy of mine on YouTube. He sees a bunch of movies early. He interviews a bunch of celebrities. I really love his channel. And guys, it's Griffin from Men vs. Movies. Griffin, what's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going, buddy? Yeah, I mean, it's going pretty good. It's just like, casual. I guess I was gonna say afternoon, but it's like 6 o'clock here, so
Yeah.
getting in on the early evening. But yeah, I can't complain. I saw Spider-Man Far From Home, so
He
that
did.
really just got me in a very happy mood because I thoroughly enjoyed the film. But yeah, I'm excited for this because I did one of these videos, a top 5 MCU scores videos, like several years ago, or maybe like
Yeah.
last year or something like that. But and it's just a testament to how much the MCU has changed, like, because my list has drastically changed. So
Exactly. Yeah.
it's like similar to when you rank these films, it's a list that is ever changing, and I'm really excited to talk about it.
Me too, man. Me too. We got a few people here in the chat. Julie Madden, what is going on? Harry Potter fan 2008, Aiden Green Gaming. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Terry T, nice to see you guys. Thank you for tuning in, guys. So Griffin, as he said, has seen Spider-Man Far From Home, and we're going to be giving you guys our top 10 favorite MCU scores because the MCU will have 23 movies with Far From Home, and the MCU makes a lot of great scores, and doing a top 10 list was very challenging for some part, but we're excited to reveal you guys our top 10 list, and how we're going to do it is we're going to go through the honorable mentions first. Griffin, since you are the guest, you will do your honorable mentions first, then my honorable mentions, and then after the honorable mentions, I'll address the chat really quickly, and then we'll get to Griffin's 10, my 10, and address the chat, 9's, chat, etc., etc. Just so you guys are clear, and if you're commenting in the chat room and we're not responding. So, anyone else tuning on in here? See, Terry T says Captain Marvel or Man of Steel. Easy one for me, Man of Steel.
Yeah, I would be in the same boat.
Exactly. Spongy Films is here. What's up, Spongy? Avengers Endgame or Infinity War? Endgame for me.
Are you talking about the film?
Yeah, which one do you like more, Endgame or Infinity
Endgame.
War?
Yeah,
Endgame for
Endgame.
sure.
Yeah.
Endgame. Spongy and hey Griffin, love both content. Love your content.
Well, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Dreary Doll. What's going on, Dreary Doll? Good to see you. Sawyer Sable. What's up, Sawyer? Hey, Ryan. Glad to see you doing a score video on the MCU scores. 2 of my favorites are Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and Avengers Infinity War. Nice.
Yeah. Well, I have some thoughts on the score for Infinity War, which I'm sure we'll get to. Maybe on your list, maybe not, but we'll talk about it regardless. But yeah, anyways, we'll discuss.
Yeah. I just want to get right into this.
Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah.
guys, for you in the chat, let us know your favorite MCU scores and let us know your thoughts on the scores we're talking about. And guys, before we get started, Griffin and I, we're going to be talking spoilers for the MCU films, like talking the songs in different scenes. So, big spoiler warning, even though you've probably seen the movies, but just got to lay it out in there for the comments, people. So, let's get started with this list. Griffin, what are your honorable mentions?
My honorable mentions. Well, this is, I mean, it's an interesting thing because everyone talks about the fact that the Marvel movies have bad scores, and the truth is it's not that their scores are bad. I mean, some are better than others, but it's kind of the lack of thematic continuity, and that has to do with I believe there was like a Marvel executive there who like made it really difficult for that, because he didn't want to pay the same composers the money they deserve to come back. And so they would just they would rotate in new composers every single time. And Kevin Feige was very against that. So that's why they've kind of struggled with their footing. But I think especially in phase 3, we've really gotten these incredible themes. They brought back composers. They brought back the themes. They've incorporated the Avengers theme in almost every single film in some capacity, which is really nice to see. And so I guess going into my honorable mentions, I got to start off with Black Panther by Ludwig Göransson. I think this is an instance where, and this is kind of how I judge my list, is how effective is it in the movie, and how much do I listen to it outside of the film. And while the score is very effective for the film and really, brings you into the world of Wakanda, it's not a score I go back and listen to. But that being said, it's excellent and deserves an honorable mention. The next one I have is Craig Armstrong's score for The Incredible Hulk. This is a very underrated score, especially the tracks for the chase scenes. Those chase scenes are actually, they're really well done, and I think the score plays a large part in that. And I just love Craig Armstrong's like bombastic monster feeling score. I think it does a great job and deserves an honorable mention. Patrick Doyle for Thor is great, and then Tyler Bates for the 2 Guardians films. The music in those score, or the music for those movies, is excellent, and I think sometimes the score gets overshadowed by the soundtrack. But like, it's kind of hard for me not to get chills listening to Black Tears. It's like that's a great track, but unfortunately there are just other scores I prefer. So there's a few honorable mentions there.
All right, cool, Griffin. A couple of those are in my top 10 list, and a bunch of them aren't even on my list. So I was shocked, but those are some good honorable mentions, Griffin. So I have 4 honorable mentions right here. So first honorable mention is the score for the first Iron Man by Ramin Djawadi, the man who's done the score for Game of Thrones. I freaking love Game of Thrones now. But I think the first Iron Man's incredible. I think the score is iconic. Like, the Iron Man theme is so good. Like, all the scenes with Tony Stark building the Iron Man suit from scraps and just having the Iron Man theme playing. Do, especially when he's test flying that first Mark suit. So iconic. I love that scene so much. Especially Obadiah Stane, Ironmonger, when he first pops out in the warehouse. I just love what Ramin Djawadi did with the score overall, incorporating the theme, especially when Iron Man is flying with the missiles. I think that score is really good, but I think there's 10 better scores. My next honorable mention is Iron Man 3 by Brian Tyler. I love this score personally, especially when the Mandarin blows up Tony Stark's house. I love that score. And just the opening theme when Tony Stark's narrating, I love that. And the final action sequence with all those bots and Aldrich Killian, I like the score. And then I got Ant-Man and the Wasp, which I think is in your top 10 list, Griffin. Ant-Man and the Wasp from Christoph Beck.
Wow, that didn't make your top 10? Holy shit, no. Ryan. How is this list going to go down? Man?
The first one did, though. You'll see that. But
well, I would hope one of them did.
All right, the first Ant-Man and the Wasp, and the final honorable mention is going to be Thor Ragnarok from Mark Mothersbaugh. Never heard that name before, but those are my honorable mentions. I love Thor Ragnarok score.
Fun fact about Mark Mothersbaugh, whatever the hell his name is. He actually did the Rugrats theme, the original Rugrats theme.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then I learned something new.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. All right. So before we go to the 10s, let's address the chat. Hang on. Let me load up YouTube. I'll get to the point I want. Okay. Terry T says Despicable Me or Megamind. Despicable Me.
Oh, weird. I'd go Megamind, but
all right. Aiden Green, you're the coolest dude on YouTube. Thank you. Griffin is as well.
Compliment.
Tyler Calvert is here. What's up, Tyler Calvert? Let's talk Spider-Man Far From Home spoilers. Don't you dare.
Do it.
Spongy Films, his number 10 is Doctor Strange. Rachel reviews everything. What's up, Rachel? Good to see you in here. Not even funny. I agree, Rachel. Spongy, I'm subscribed to Tyler Calvert. Awesome. You should. Tyler, don't worry. I'm holding back all the Far From Home spoilers. Thank you, though. No problem. Good. Okay, so we're caught up with the chat. So let's get to our number 10s. Griffin, what's your number 10?
My number 10 is one of your honorable mentions, Iron Man 3. This is actually, so it's weird because I struggle with Brian Tyler as a composer. I think sometimes he has a tendency for, like, his scores have a tendency to sound the same, like across the board. But there's like a really nice flavor to them. And I think this one really showed his range in terms of jazz, in terms of just really utilizing and creating a memorable theme. Arguably, the score for Iron Man 3 is the most memorable Iron Man theme. I would argue one other that's on this list, but yeah, no, I really loved it, and it especially complemented the sequences, like a lot of the sequences really well. I think my favorite track on the score is Stark. That's a really good one. And then obviously Malibu Point, the music is excellent there. But it's just one of those things where when we get to the credits, and then it's just like a full out jazzy, like it's very Shane Black in what it is.
Yeah.
And so yeah, no, I love it, and it's great to put on and listen to. The Mandarin themes very menacing and well done, and so yeah, I think this is some of my favorite work from Brian Tyler, barring Fast 5 and Assassin's Creed 4.
Nice. All right, that's a good number 10, Griffin. So my number 10 is gonna be Spider-Man: Homecoming. I love Spider-Man: Homecoming's score. I think Michael Giacchino did a great job with the score all around. My favorite in the score is definitely Spider-Man's theme. I think Spider-Man theme is great. Dun, 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 dun. But it's definitely a good ring to it. It's not as iconic as Sam Raimi's Spider-Man theme from Danny Elfman. Danny Elfman and Spider-Verse has a better score for sure. But
really, wow, okay,
yeah, I think Michael Giacchino did a great job with the Homecoming score. My favorite actually is definitely the Vultures theme. The Vultures theme is great. Bum 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 bum.
Yeah, he does. It's all great.
Yeah, whenever the Vulture comes on screen and that theme plays, I just get amped. And some of the other songs in the score are great too. The boat scene is fine, but out of those ones, definitely Spider-Man's theme and the Vulture's theme stand out to me, but I think it's a lot of fun, a great score all around from Michael Giacchino, and that is my number 10.
Yeah, we'll get to that one a little bit later on.
All right, so it's higher on your list. Okay.
It is not too much higher,
okay.
But it is higher.
All right, cool. So let's address the chat. All right, where were we? All right, Aiden Green says his favorite score is Avengers Endgame. Awesome pick. Terry T, I'm back. Welcome back. Dreary Doll, Homecoming or Far From Home? Please no spoilers. I can't pick.
I'm not even going to answer that now.
No, we don't want to get into that. Sammy! What's up, Sammy? Good to see you in here. And Spongy. Hey, Sammy. Awesome. So we're caught up with the chat. Cool. All right, so let's go to our number 9s. Griffin, what's your number 9?
Yeah, number 9 for me is another one of your honorable mentions, and that is the first Iron Man. You know, Ramin Djawadi came out of the gate swinging in a score that I have listened to probably, maybe not the most on this list, but it's one of the scores I've listened to most. But yeah, I really love the theme for Iron Man. I love how he incorporated the tech sounds when Tony's in the lab, the blacksmithing sounds when he's building the suit. I think that was like incredibly powerful in the build up to when he, like basically kills all the terrorists and escapes the cave. I think is excellent. And yeah, obviously Driving with the Top Down is by far my favorite track on there. That's like the first test flight with the suit, and I think that's it's always bugged me that they never brought that theme back, because I think it's, one, versatile. You can use it a bunch of different ways. 2, it's super memorable, and 3, Ramin Djawadi showed that you can you know, depending on what Stark is going through, you can tailor it to what he's doing, and so that's always just like been like really
Yeah,
that's been
yeah.
something I really dug. And then also like the rock element to it. I mean, Jawadi really established the rock sound that would be associated with Tony Stark, and while it kind of became discontinued as the series went on, that's something that I wish they would have stuck with, I guess, a little bit more in terms of the scores. So yeah, no, I absolutely adore this score, and I could listen to it all day.
Oh, that's a great number 9. Great number 9. I love the first Iron Man score.
Yeah.
No wonder why Ramin Djawadi went on to do Game of Thrones and Westworld, and
Yeah,
he's able to incorporate his style of action, his style of character pieces, and I think he's a great composer.
for
All
sure.
right,
Yeah.
so let's. All right, what's my number 9? All right, let's go to my number 9. My number 9 is the first Ant-Man from Christoph Beck. I love the first Ant-Man score. I think it's incredibly underrated. I love the end credit scene, the end credit music, the dun 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 dun.
Mhm.
That's Ant-Man's theme. It's so good. I love that theme incorporated in the heist scenes with Ant-Man going to different places, shrinking. That theme is just well incorporated. It's such a good score. Christoph Beck, no
Mhm.
wonder why they got him for Ant-Man and the Wasp again. He's able to add in those great elements from the score. And Yellow Jackets theme's great too. I just love that theme overall for Ant-Man and how Christoph Beck is able to incorporate it with the action sequences and the small character moments too.
Mhm.
He plays it slow, he plays it fast, and it's super catchy, and I just love listening to that. So that's definitely my number 9.
Yeah, we once again we will get to that much later on.
All right, so let's read up on the chat. Not much from the chat going on here.
Cool.
Spongy's number 9 is Black Panther. Great pick.
Solid score.
Aiden Green. The only scores I don't like is Thor: The Dark World and the first Thor. All right,
Fair.
that's interesting. Um, Aiden Green. All right, so we are caught up with the chat right here. So let's go to our number 8s now. Griffin, what's your number 8?
Yeah, my number 8 is the one you already mentioned, which is Spider-Man: Homecoming. And you know, I actually do think that this Spider-Man theme is on par with Elfman's theme, and it's better. I think it's a little bit better than Pemberton's Spider-Verse theme, only because we've gotten just one film of that. So, you know, maybe in the next Spider-Verse it'll just be bolstered even more. But uh, you know, the Giacchino's score for Spider, or his theme for Spider-Man, just instantly got stuck in my head. And maybe it's just because I've been listening to the Far From Home score like ever since I saw the film, that it's like even more stuck in my head right now. But I think it's incredibly memorable. It fits the character perfectly because, at least in Homecoming score, it's very flimsy and juvenile and carefree, and it really does a good job of reflecting a high school Peter just having fun being a superhero. And so yeah, the Vulture's theme also really solid. It's menacing, it's bombastic, it's just like super ultra, you know, bird of prey kind of villain theme, which is great. But
Mm-hmm.
I think the best use of that theme is actually when they're in the car, and it's just like super subtle and super unsettling, and it just like
Oh, are you talking about the scene with Adrian Toomes in them?
yeah. I'm talking, yeah,
Oh
when
yeah. Boom,
with his
boom, boom. Oh,
daughter,
I
yeah.
love that scene.
Oh, it's
Uh,
great. Yeah, it's a
yeah.
great scene, and I think the little flourishes that Giacchino is kind of known for, that he just like throws into different moments, really helps elevate it. I do agree with you in saying that some tracks are better than the other. And while overall it does a good job of you know, pairing, it pairs nicely with the film. It's one of those where it's like I'm skipping a lot of tracks on you know, re-listen. So that's why it's coming in at number 8 for me.
Yeah, yeah, totally understandable. I love that score and the
Mhm.
Vultures theme. All right, so my number 8 is the first Avengers. The first
Nice.
Avengers is an excellent score from Alan Silvestri, the best
Mhm.
MCU composer, hands down.
Sure.
The first Avengers theme, of course, the bum 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 bum. Everybody loves the main Avengers theme when they're in New York and then they're spinning around in that circle and that theme starts playing. When the Hulk beats that Leviathan, it's the grand moment we've been waiting for.
Mhm.
But the Avengers score is fantastic. I mean, Don't Take My Stuff is another one of my favorite songs from that score with
Mhm.
Thor and Iron Man's fight. It's great. Arrival's great. They Called It. Assemble. All of the songs in the score are great. I thought Alan Silvestri added in those nice epic moments with the score as well as the small slow scenes as well. He has
Mhm.
great choral parts to it. And I just love when the helicarrier first comes out, that score that plays, it's
Yeah, the
epic.
Helicarrier theme is excellent.
Boom,
Yeah,
boom. Yep. And we'll talk about another helicarrier theme later on, but
sure.
it's so good. It's so epic. I love Iron Man's introduction, Cap's introduction,
Mhm.
and just all the characters having their own music. And Alan Silvestri knows these Avengers characters and their themes really well. And it's kind of sad that it's my only number 8, but it's the MCU. They have so many great scores, and Alan Silvestri has many other great works. But yeah, the first Avengers score is amazing.
Oh, I'm gonna piggyback off of that because that's actually my number 7 is the first Avengers score.
Oh, okay,
For
okay,
many of the
yeah, go
reasons
right
that
ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, for many of the reasons that you said, I mean, establishing a theme this powerful and this memorable right out the gate is incredible. And I also think you have to credit Joss Whedon for creating the moments that the score can really just enhance. And so it's like it's the mind of Alan Silvestri paired with the mind of Joss Whedon that really came to make this score feel
Yeah,
memorable. And I really liked that they've come to embrace the theme and like start using it in their marketing because that's why the Harry Potter theme, the Star Wars theme, the James Bond theme, that's why they're all so memorable is because the studio is unafraid to showcase that theme when they need to. And I think the same can be said now for Silvestri's Avengers theme. Something that I really enjoyed was that Silvestri, while he didn't utilize past themes in the MCU except for Captain America's theme because he did that score. What he did do was he played with little leitmotifs and elements that represented, I guess, these characters. One of the ones that comes to mind is what he did for Iron Man. And how he basically set the groundwork. Well, not set the groundwork, but um, he took elements from what Jawadi and I forget the other guy who did Iron Man too, but he took elements of what they did and then kind of subtly weave them into this Avengers score, and you could see that done a lot. It was a nice and clever touch that I really appreciated. But overall, you're right. It enhances the big moments. There's nice somber pieces. The Tesseract theme is incredible. Or really, I guess it's the Infinity Stones theme now because that's what they used it in other films. But Helicarrier theme is jaw dropping and full of wonder. It really does a great job of mirroring the reaction that Cap and Hulk had when they saw the thing take off for the first time. So yeah, I agree. I absolutely love it. It's memorable. There's just scores that I enjoy a little bit more.
absolutely, absolutely. Glad we're on the same page for that one. And going on in the chat, Spongy's number 8 is the Ant-Man scores. Aiden Green, do you think they should make a movie about Falcon becoming Captain America? There's going to be a Netflix streaming, sorry, not Netflix, there's going to be a streaming service for Falcon. Movie Man, Griffin, are you going to beat Sean Chandler in the YouTube beauty pageant?
Hey man, who knows?
I'm
He's
rooting for Griffin.
oh, thanks man,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
um,
Sean's bulked up a lot, so I guess I gotta start hitting the gym more than I already do. So
yeah, yeah, for sure. Spongy's number 7 is Spider-Man Homecoming. Ben on Adventures. What's up, Ben? Good to see you in here. Thank you. It is a great topic. And yeah, so we're caught up with the chat right now. Let's get to my number 7.
yep,
My number 7 is Black Panther from
yep.
Ludwig Göransson.
Great
the
one.
Academy Award winning score for Ludwig Göransson's Black Panther. I know Griffin disagrees with that pick.
I mean, I'm not saying he's not worthy. I'm just saying in a year where Damien Chazelle scored First Man and wasn't
Yeah, that should have
nominated.
won.
So, yeah,
Yeah, what
anyways.
the hell, Academy? But yeah, Ludwig Göransson did the score for Black Panther. I think Black Panther is a great score all around, great African themes in there from Ludwig. How he did the Wakanda theme with the African music, which was so good. I love the opening theme when they're entering Wakanda and the bum 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 bum. It's so good.
Yeah.
I love Killmonger's theme. It's so amazing. I love the American rap music he has there. I love the Jabari, the waterfall score. It's so amazing. Oh, the combat scene, like it's so epic, that score. When Killmonger chucks Black Panther off the waterfall, that epic music that's playing when Killmonger's crowned king. This score gets so epic. And my favorite scene is it's such a well shot scene when Killmonger's walking to that throne and it's just this circular shot.
Oh, yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. It's Burn It All. I love Burn It All. That's one of my favorite from the score. Yeah, Ludwig Göransson added a lot of great African themes, the Black Panther theme, and the chases as well. While I don't agree that it shouldn't have won the Academy Award, it should have gone to First Man, but it didn't even get nominated. And I thought if Beale Street Could Talk had a better score than Black Panther.
I also agree there.
Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, I love this score. It's in my top 10 for a reason. It's a great score, but there's better scores. So
yeah, well, I think you hit on the big thing with it, which is the cultural authenticity of it, and how it incorporates the sounds and instruments of the region, and certain tracks and sequences, especially the Warrior Falls stuff, they were staged and the music was used to emulate like actual African rituals. I don't like remember what they were actually called, but I listened to Göransson actually talk about it a little bit, and it was just the amount of research and detail that went into making this feel culturally authentic is not only admirable, it enhanced the film. It was just really smart composing from his part, and then I agree, it's great stuff all around.
No problem. So let's go right to the chat. Amari's here. What's up, Amari? Good to see you in here. He says Avengers Endgame's final battle score. We will get to Endgame. Aran Orgad. What's up, Aran? Good to see you in here, man. Sorry you arrived late. No problem, man. Good that you're here. Ben, my favorite score is the main Avengers theme, just so iconic. It's a great theme. All in Green, the most underrated score is Captain America, the First Avenger. We'll get to that.
Is
Ben,
it the most underrated?
I don't think it's underrated.
No, I don't think it's underrated
It's
at all.
one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Ben, Black Panther is all around amazing. Yes, it is. Spongy, his number 6 is the Captain America trilogy. Dreary Doll. Now that you said that someone's going to complain that Black Panther is overrated. Ben, I love the score in Raimi's Spider-Man 2, even though it is an MCU. I love Raimi's Spider-Man 2 score. It's Danny Elfman. And Driscoll Bros is here. What's up, Driscoll Bros? All right. So now we're getting to our number 6. So Griffin, what is your number 6?
Yeah, 6 and 5 swap almost constantly. But for right now, I just decided to go with Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Listen, I listen to the score. I listen to the score probably more than most of the ones on this list, except for two others. I absolutely love how they modernized Cap's theme. I part of me wishes they would have used the original Captain America theme from the first Avenger and just kind of shaped it ever so slightly to fit a modern climate, because you're right. I mean, it is very patriotic. It's very of the time it's in. But I think if you look at films like Endgame, you look at films like Infinity War, you look at films like the Avengers, even, and they're able to utilize Cap's theme in a way that is modernized. But I guess for the dark kind of political commentary they were going with for this film, what Henry Jackman decided to do fit the movie perfectly. I think that taking a stand, basically the Captain America theme for the Winter Soldier is arguably the best track in the MCU. I think that the music balances being really intense and memorable and heroic, and the stuff with the Nick Fury chase is really edge of your seat, pulse pounding. The stuff with the Lumerian Star is excellent.
Yes.
The Winter Soldier theme, while very experimental, weirdly enough works. It's kind of crazy how
Yes,
Henry
it
Jackman
does.
managed to make it work. But yeah, no, I mean, dude, I like I said, I've listened to the score more times than I can count. I absolutely love it, but for today, it's falling in at number 6. I think this arguably is the most underrated score in the MCU, because people tend to give it shit for not continuing the thematic through line of the first Avenger. But I think this is an instance where, because there was a progression, because like time passed and Cap is now in the modern era, it made sense to alter the theme just ever so slightly. Still being heroic, still being a little uncertain and dark, but still feeling like Captain America. My biggest complaint is that Henry Jackman, who composed The Winter Soldier, went on to compose Civil War and did not bring back the theme from The Winter Soldier. That makes no sense to me, and I will never
So
understand.
Civil War didn't make your list?
No, Civil War didn't make. I don't like the score for Civil War. It just
I
feels like
highly disagree.
really. Oh well, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess we'll get into it, but like, I think there's good themes in there, and like yeah, when Cap is like pulling the helicopter, that's a great little motif. But my biggest problem with that score is that it just feels like generic Avengers music. It just feels like Henry Jackman generic Avengers music. And I feel like had they included the themes from The Winter Soldier more and not replaced them with new themes, then I probably would have liked it even more.
So I think they only brought back Winter Soldier's theme,
They
not
did,
Captain
yeah.
America's theme.
And it
But
wasn't even like the full Winter Soldier theme. It was just like that
yeah,
sound. Yeah, that little
yeah. I could see where you're coming from. But yeah, Winter Soldier and Civil War are higher on my list, but that's
Sure.
totally fine. Aiden Green, his family doesn't like First Avenger. What? Wow. Iran, will you do top 10s like Jay Vader's of certain genres? Probably in the future. Ben says, unpopular opinion. I think Civil War is meh.
I agree with that. I do agree with that statement.
No, are you saying the movie or the score?
Both.
Oh, wow. Oh, wait,
I'm being 100% honest. On my most recent rewatch of Civil War, I found a lot of things that really kind of irked me in that, and I think the film constantly contradicts itself, which is kind of irritating. It's like they should have done a proper Captain America 3, and then they should have done Civil War as a proper Avengers film, because the mashing of the two I don't think is as clean as they would have liked it to be. Still a good movie though, but just
Okay. So let's get to my number 6. I think this will be way higher on your list, but my number 6 is Captain America: The First Avenger.
No, that's actually that's my number 5, actually.
Okay. So Griffin and I have a review on this on my channel, so go check that out. We gushed out over this score, but Alan Silvestri's score for Captain America: The First Avenger is fantastic. I love the score all the way around. I think this is no, never mind. But anyway, I think this is one of the more iconic out of the MCU scores for Captain America's theme. That World War II theme around. It's just such a patriotic theme for the character Captain America. The war scenes are great. Red Skull's theme is great. just the score is so well incorporated. It's very patriotic and very epic and bombast. And just the opening scene in Antarctica, like this score is well done. Alan Silvestri just adds in those epic moments and those emotional moments when Cap is draining the plane down in the Arctic. I cry every time at
Oh
that
yeah,
ending.
yeah.
I love that ending so much, and that score when they win the war. It's if you think of like patriotic scores, this is one of them. Wonder Woman definitely tried to shoeline the ending score to this, but I felt
I
like
did notice that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
with
A
Diana losing
little bit.
Steve,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It was very similar.
But yeah, Alan Silvestri just makes scores completely epic, and this one had an emotional punch. That's why it made it at number 6. But
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. I think out of every single theme on this, this is the theme that best fits and represents and encapsulates who its main character is, just better than any of the other themes on here. I may listen and enjoy other themes more than this one, but this, you hear like the first two notes and you're like Captain America. I mean, it's just
yeah,
it's memorable. It's versatile, similar to Jawadi's first Iron Man theme. The way Silvestri plays with it in different ways. He's able to speed it up tempo for more action-based moments. He's able just to use a couple lines of it to like just convey a certain sequence or interaction. Yeah, I mean, the stuff between him and Peggy when he's getting ready to crash the plane is super moving, and especially the you're right, the end of the war kind of, and not montage, but just kind of like them, reminiscing about Cap and missing him and stuff like that. There's like subtle little oboe notes in there that just dig into your heart, and you're like, God, I feel this. I feel everything.
yeah.
It's beautiful. It's probably, well, I don't know, but anyways, it's excellent. It does a great job of representing the character, and I'm glad that every time Silvestri came back, he used it. Because he knew, he was like, this is Captain America's theme. When you hear this, you immediately think of Captain America, and it is the only score to have started with their character and been carried on all the way through up to Endgame, because you hear him using it at the end of Endgame for Sam and everything, and it's like, this is the Captain America theme. Like, there may be other themes used in Winter Soldier and Civil War, but this is the definitive Captain America theme, and I love it so much.
Awesome. All right, cool. Got the songs up there. All right, let's go through the chat. Aiden Green says his mom says Iron Man 2 is better than Civil War or than First Avenger. Wow. So Ben says he thinks the movie Civil War is a meh. I respect your opinion.
Yeah.
Spongy Films, thanks for tuning in, man. Have a good night. Aiden Green says Captain America: The First Avenger was his favorite film of 2011. Yes, that's a great one.
Yeah.
All right, so since Griffin just revealed your number 5, First Avenger was your number 5?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, that's me.
All right, so now we're in our top 5. So my number 5 is Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one.
Great one.
I love the score from Tyler Bates. I think this score is incredible. I never thought going into Guardians of the Galaxy, I was just not fully excited for the idea, but after I loved Winter Soldier so much, I just had to see this movie, and Marvel just knocked it out of the park with the score. Tyler Bates, his Guardians of the Galaxy theme is just as iconic as that Avengers theme. I freaking love that Guardians theme so much whenever it plays. Bum 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 bum. Like when they're in that thing, when they're flying up in the air, that score plays just so epic when they're escaping the prison.
Oh yeah.
And Morag is great, and then it's accompanying the score as well as the soundtrack. Awesome Mixtape Volume 1. I love how James Gunn adds in the score of the soundtrack mixed together, and Tyler Bates just has that epic feeling with the action sequences overall. Another one of my favorite songs from this score is definitely
Is it Black Tears?
Black Tears and Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Sacrifice is great when Gamora's stuck out there.
Mm-hmm.
And yep, and Groot's Cocoon is super emotional.
Good one too. Yeah.
Black Tears when they're beating Ronan with the Power Stone. Oh, it's so great.
It's great. Yeah.
I freaking love this score so much. I listen to it pretty much every week. Pretty much, I just whenever I want to get in that mood, whenever I just want to get pumped up, I just listen to that Guardians theme. Man,
Nice.
just gets me going. So that's my number 5.
Nice.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
All right. So Griffin, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is the newly released Spider-Man Far From Home.
Okay.
Because Michael Giacchino fucking knocks it out of the park with this one. And I love his approach to this because where Spider-Man Homecoming was very juvenile in high school, accompanying, Spider-Man's journey in that one. In this film, Spider-Man, without giving anything away, Spider-Man goes on a journey of finding himself and finding his purpose after the death of Iron Man. Spoilers for those of you who haven't seen Endgame, but I'm sure there's like 2 of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Anyways, and so I think, the music reflects that maturity of the character. It's more heroic, it's more elaborate. And the way Giacchino interweaves the theme with this Shield theme that he creates with Mysterio's theme, which I will get into in a little bit. The way he interweaves it to reflect what is going on is so masterful, very effective. But speaking of Mysterio's theme, this may actually be my favorite villain theme that has been composed thus far because it's very John Barry. It reminds me of a Bond villain theme. It's super it's another one that's
it's better than Thanos' theme.
I think so because, well, I mean, I think Thanos' theme is good because it's a couple of notes and it's him. Whereas Mysterio's theme, Giacchino plays with it in many different ways. Like when we first meet him, it's very heroic and optimistic, and then as the character goes through, as the character progresses in the film, the theme is altered to reflect what is going on with that character. And so it's something that when I was watching, I noticed it and I was like, holy crap, this is super effective in creative, composition here. So I love it for that. But on top of that, the melody of it and whatnot is very Bond. It kind of reminds me of his work with Brad Bird, which I also adore. And yeah, and there, it's, when there, I'm trying to dance around it without getting into spoilers, but there are several sequences where he just full on uses that Spider-Man theme. And this for me is what cemented Giacchino's Spider-Man work as on par with, it cemented it as being on par with Danny Elfman's work. They're 2 very different themes, but they are so effective, very memorable, and they, do a great job of representing their versions of Spider-Man perfectly. So I can't speak highly enough about this score. I've been listening to it ever since the film came out, so I loved it.
I guarantee I'll be doing the same thing. I'm super excited to see Far From Home in that score. So catch up on the chat really quickly. See, Aiden Green, Guardians of the Galaxy is without a doubt the funniest MCU movie. Yeah, I'd go with the first Guardians. Iran, the X-Men are coming to the MCU, and he watched Dark Phoenix and he loved it. People are overlooking it.
I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. It's fine.
Phil Baller. What's up, Phil Baller? What up, Ryan? Just got back from seeing the re-release of Endgame and he got a poster. Awesome.
Shit, I've been meaning. I should.
I gotta go. I might go see that. We'll see.
I just want the poster. Oh, really?
Yeah. It's just Tony Stark with the gauntlet.
Yeah, it's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's Griffin's number 4. So my number 4 is what Griffin didn't have on his list, Captain America Civil War. That's my number 4 from Henry Jackman. I freaking love Civil War score. Sure, it didn't have Captain America's theme in there, but I really love the new themes that Henry Jackman brought in here. Just the epic and grandness of the Civil War score, just adding in a lot of epic things to it. I love Black Panther's theme that's incorporated in here.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, they should have brought back that Black Panther theme they added in Civil War. I love that theme. I love the airport scene. I love everything about that airport scene. Stepping up, standoff, and Civil War. Like you can't lie, Griffin. Pretty much in that airport scene when they're all facing off against each other. It's a moment we've been waiting for. Just all our heroes about to fight each other. It's just
I think the progression of the music is good. Dude, I'm in the minority on this. I think the airport sequence is not great. Yeah, I don't think it's that good. Yeah, man, I think
just
it's
started off a war in the chat, a civil war in the chat.
Yeah, man, I think it's overrated. I think what the Russo brothers do in terms of balancing it is cool, but it looks really cheap. It's kind of like a really uncreative environment.
I won't lie. I'll admit some of the CGI doesn't look a little off with Iron Man. I'll admit that.
Yeah, and like the other thing is that like I never actually bought into the fact that they were at odds with it. Like I bought into the fact that Cap and Tony were at odds, but everyone else, it just like it was just weird. I don't know. Like Cap seems so disinterested in everything that's going on, and Tony's like being just like really unlikable. And then like during the whole battle, like everyone's throwing quips at each other, and I'm like, what?
I like that.
Yeah, I didn't like that, man. It just kind of it rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, I can't take it seriously. But that's just one asshole's opinion. So
we just started a civil war in the chat. All right,
let the hate comments come at me.
All right, all right. Did I? All right, I just revealed my number 4. All right, so any in the chat? Let's go to the chat. Jared Buckendall, what's up, Jared? Good to see you in here, man. Griffin, take it off. Woo! Iran, the Avengers score is his favorite. Aiden Green in Civil War. Whose team were you on? Team Cap, baby. Team Cap. All the way.
Same.
Ben agrees with you. Sorry, man. The airport scene is overrated and just I was rolling my Jared Buckendall, haha, rubbed you the wrong way. Nice. Ben, me and Griffin need to start an anti-Civil War podcast. Oh.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, I don't dislike the movie. It's better than like 75% of the other MCU films. Like, it's still my top 10. I just don't think it's like as good as people say it is. Like,
just like me with Dunkirk. I don't hate Dunkirk. I just think it's overrated as shit.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. So let's see. Iran, Spider-Man was barely even in Civil War. It wasn't his movie.
That's another thing. I thought that was so shoehorned in and unnecessary. It was just they just did it because they got the rights back. Like there was literally no purpose for him to be in there. And then like Tony like going to recruit this kid to bring him in to fight Cap was so irresponsible and like completely contradicted everything he was saying prior to that point. And so it just I don't know, maybe it's supposed to show his like the hypocrisy of his beliefs, but it's still like totally weird.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, enough Civil War.
All right. Eagles Wings. Hey, I love your channel. Thank you, man. All right. Let's just go to our top 3s now.
Top 3, baby.
Oh my goodness. I'm curious to hear Griffin's top 3. All right. Griffin, what's your number 3?
Number 3 is Ant-Man by Christoph Beck.
Oh, yeah.
Holy
so predictable.
Shit, man. This score literally knocked me off, like knocked my socks off. The first time when I vividly remember the first time I heard this because I was flipping through YouTube and it was like Christoph Beck's Ant-Man theme. And I was like, oh yeah, Ant-Man's coming out and there's the new theme. I was like, okay, let me check this out. I heard it and I was like, oh my god, this is one of the most memorable and catchy and just straight up fun superhero themes I have ever heard, and the implementation of it in the movie worked like tenfold. like, the cool thing about Christoph Beck is that he scored several heist films prior to this. So he took those sensibilities and he applied it to an Ant-Man film. And it's so many of his flourishes did a great job of emulating insect movements or just like the smallness of Ant-Man. And it's just it's like infinitely re-listenable. Like, I listened to this score and another score that I haven't gotten to yet, probably more than definitely more than any other score on this list. Just because of how much I love it, how effective it is. I love the use. I love Hank's theme. Hank's theme is great. It's super subtle, but it's really just like powerful. And I think when they're actually carrying out the heist, the music plays a large part in just making you have a fun time. And the other thing that I liked was the piece of music that he used when Ant-Man had that run in with Falcon. He used the Avengers theme a little bit.
Oh yeah, yep.
Super brisk, super fast paced. I'm sorry, super fast paced. And just yeah, I mean, my God, this is like this and Ant-Man and the Wasp are the two most slept on scores in like the history of comic book film scores, just because they are so good and effective and memorable. That's the thing. The consistency of the themes really makes it memorable, on top of them just being genuinely great. On top of it just being genuinely great music.
Dum 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 dum. All right, so let's go to the chat really quickly. Ben says, I know it's in the comics and whatnot, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of the whole Iron Man spider suit at all. Aiden Green, Ant-Man, in my opinion, is a little bit overrated. Ben, sorry for the bad comments. Haha, back to the programming. No worries, man. Jordan Sweet, what's up, Jordan? Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor Ragnarok, and Doctor Strange are his favorite scores. They rock. And Eagle's Wings, do you like DC Universe composers? Of course.
You mean, do I like Hans Zimmer? Yeah.
Who doesn't love Hans Zimmer? Have you heard Man of Steel and The Dark Knight, man? All right, so let's go to my number 3. Now, the top 3, like all 3 of these scores are like amazing to me. Like, I have no issues with these scores. All right, number 3 is Avengers Infinity War from Alan Silvestri. I love it. I know you had something to say about Infinity War score, but I love Infinity War score. It's Alan Silvestri. I'm so happy that the Russo brothers brought Alan Silvestri back to do the scores for Infinity War and Endgame. Thanos' theme it's become one of the most iconic villain scores of all time. Like the whole movie opens with that dark theme, travel delays. It's such a dark, mysterious opening score with Thanos and the Black Order taking control of Thor's ship. It's just so good. And then the main event Avengers theme kicks in with the logo, which is great. I love this score in particular. There's so many great songs. I love a small price, or even for you, whichever one, when they're on Vormir and Thanos throws Gamora off the cliff. I love that, and they brought it back for Endgame. But the score, Griffin, we have to talk about is Forge. I think Forge is the most iconic. Bring me Thanos!
Yeah, and actually it's Forge is great, but actually the track before Forge, leading into Forge, and then Forge, Charge, Forge are like the two. Those are two of the best tracks in the entire MCU. They're great.
I love Charge. It's
awesome.
And the Battle of Wakanda was amazing. Charge was really well incorporated. And then of course Forge, when Thor enters Wakanda like a badass mother. I'm not trying not to swear. But really what I love about Infinity War's score is just you feel like no character is safe at all whenever Thanos' theme comes on, whenever a dark score comes on. Like, there's no room to breathe. Once Thanos enters Wakanda, that score is amazing. And just that whole sequence when Thanos is about to win and Scarlet Witch is taking the stone out of Vision's head, that score is super emotional. And then I got to talk about Porch was so great. Just
Yeah.
because we didn't know what was going to happen because Thanos is sitting on that porch. He's just giving a smile, and then it goes to the credits.
Mhm.
Like, what? Like,
Yeah,
I've never
yeah.
seen a superhero film like this. The bad guy actually wins at the end, and oh man, I love the score so much. And Griffin, I know you had something to say about the score, but
Yeah, I think it's a score that has like several incredible tracks. Like you mentioned Forge and stuff like that. The one where they're in New York as well.
mhm.
The you know, Thanos's theme, the end credits stuff. Like there are great musical numbers in this score, but as a whole, I thought it was like really tame for Silvestri. It was just like, not that I was expecting something crazy. I think it fits the film perfectly. It's just like when I'm you know, do I want to listen to this on like outside of the film? As a whole, not really. Certain tracks, yeah. I just think you know, when I go through and I'm listening through it, a lot of the tracks kind of blend together and just sound the same, which works great for the film because they're just trying to lay down a bed of music that, you know, does a great job of you know, enhancing the moments. So like I can't blame Silvestri for being tame with this, and it's definitely darker, more regal, I guess you could say. Just very theatrical in its approach, but yeah, I don't know. It's not one that I really care to revisit that much, mainly because it's really long and there's like only like 3 tracks that I would ever care to listen to. But
Oh, I listened to like 8 on that
yeah,
score.
yeah. I mean, like it's like, here's the thing. Even when Silvestri is, you know, even when he's not doing his best work, he's still doing good work. So I don't think it's like a bad score. It's just fine. It's good. It's fine.
Okay. Let's go to the chat. We got 3 comments here. Aiden Green says Infinity War was his favorite score until Endgame came out. Jordan Sweet, I love Thor's entrance, kicked all of the tail.
Yeah.
And Ben, thanks for tuning in, man. You have a good night. All right. Top 2. Top 2.
Yeah.
This is going to get intense. My hands are getting sweaty. Griffin, what's your number 2?
You tell me. What's my number 2?
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yes, sir.
All right, I know what your number 1 is.
Yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp fucking rocks, man. Somehow Christoph Waltz
did the score.
Christoph Beck somehow managed to outdo what he did with the first Ant-Man, because Wasp's theme kicks a whole lot of ass. He still uses the Ant-Man theme, which is super effective. He integrates both of them so well. Then Hank's theme is bolstered even more than it was in the first one. And because this film has a really brisk pace to it, the music is constantly moving, which I love, but yet it doesn't sacrifice like the emotional integrity of certain moments, which I absolutely love. And there's one track in particular, I think it's called like Anthropod or Poid or something like that. It's just like, it's like a piano melody that's like, it's the Ant-Man theme, but it's like kind of not at the same time. And I love it. The new music that is like implemented into this score fits like a glove, yet he doesn't refuse to utilize what he's already done with the previous Ant-Man film. It's kind of similar to what Giacchino did in Far From Home. It's just the next logical step for the heroes, and so the music reflects that change and an advancement in character. And man, this is the score out of any of them on this list that I have just listened to constantly, just because of how rocking it is. It's awesome. I love it. I absolutely adore this score. I adore the Ant-Man films, and I adore the Ant-Man scores.
Awesome, man. I can't wait to get into mine. All right, my number 2 is Winter Soldier, Captain America: The Winter Soldier from Henry Jackman. Winter Soldier, this was my favorite out of all the MCU scores until my number 1, but this score's, it's electrifying. I love how they humanize. I love how they just changed the Captain America score into more of a modernization. I did like that. I like how they had the original score in like the opening scene when Cap's jogging on your left. I love Fury. Like that car chase was so freaking good. I love when Nick Fury's in that car chase against those police officers. I love Winter Soldier's theme. It's amazing. I love that score. I love the highway fight. I love the elevator scene, the helicarrier scene. Like, oh my goodness, this movie is an action movie, junk food extravaganza full of amazing score beats to it. Henry Jackman instantly became one of my favorite composers, probably my second favorite MCU composer behind Silvestri, but his themes in here are so electrifying. Like, I was on the edge of my seat seeing this movie in theaters multiple times, just from the car chase, the helicarrier scene, Nick Fury's death. He didn't die, but that scene where it looked like he died, like, oh man, I love what Henry Jackman did with this score. It's amazing. It's totally listenable. I've listened to the score multiple times. I pretty much know every single song on here. It's so good. I definitely get your criticisms, Griffin, for sure. But for me, I think Winter Soldier stood the test of time for an MCU score, and that's why it's my number 2.
No, sure. And there was a point in time where this was like top 3 material, and truth be told, it does like its placement does change ever so slightly. I agree with everything you said. Like it's incredible music, and it fits the film perfectly. So yeah, I mean, I really have no complaints for the most part. Yeah. So.
All right, we only got a couple of comments right here from Dorito Chip. Avengers 1 theme is his number 1.
Yep.
And Dreary Doll. Now that I'm thinking about it, Ant-Man and the Wasp fucking rocks.
Yeah, there we go. We're gonna convert some people. This is my sole goal in life, is to just get more Ant-Man fans out there.
Yeah. All right. So, Griffin, we both have the same number 1, so we might as well just reveal it in 3, 2, 1. Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2, baby.
Oh yeah, Doctor Strange, man.
Yeah, that's also overrated.
Yeah.
All right. Our number 1 is
Avengers Endgame.
Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
All right, you take it away first, man.
This, quite frankly, is not only the best score in the MCU. It's not only one of the best comic book movie scores ever made. It is, for a guy who has been composing as long as he has, this is one of Alan Silvestri's best scores to date. And I think it's going to finally earn him an Academy Award for Best Original Score. Something he's never won, to be honest. Which is crazy to think about. I mean, my God, this dude did Back to the Future. He did Castaway. He did Forrest Gump. Like, and like
Predator.
Yes. I mean, the dude is like a hitman. He's, depending on who you talk to, it's like John Williams and then Alan Silvestri, because they both come from the same school of thought when it comes to composition. There are differences, obviously, but like, yeah, I mean, Alan Silvestri is a mastermind at film scoring, and the fact that he just like went all in on this and crafted such a magnificent it's really interesting, because the score is similar to the movie. The score is chunked out to feel different. Like the beginning, super dark, super dreary and non-hope and unhopeful, hopeless.
Poor Hawkeye.
Right. All that is great. The piece of music that I love at the beginning is where Tony is talking to the helmet, giving that message to Pepper, and I think the score is just it's so beautifully just like
Arrival
hooks into you. That might be it. I don't remember.
Totally Fine, No Trust. I don't know which one it is.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I just know the moment where like Tony's like,
I know
like,
what you're talking about,
and the music is just perfect. But yeah, and so it's like, and then we get into the middle stuff where it's like the team trying to like rebuild, and it's got those heist elements to it, and Silvestri throws in some heist music as well, very reminiscent of like the Ant-Man scores. So I thought that was nice. Yeah, it was cool. And then the other thing is he utilized because this was like a celebration of the MCU, and we went back and revisited some of the best moments. He utilize some of the previous themes and music, and so I thought that really was a nice that was really nice to incorporate into it. But then the third act, man, the third act is like, this is Alan
Oh, yeah.
Silvestri Unchained. Portals, fucking play that song at my funeral,
Oh
because that
my
is like,
goodness.
it's, you know, you think you've heard the Avengers theme, and then there's Alan Silvestri at the end of Endgame
Yeah,
blaring the
you
Avengers
thought
theme.
Forge was great?
Yeah, you thought,
Portals, baby.
right? That's what, exactly. Yeah, like you thought Forge is great. Yeah, wait till Portals. And I think the perfect the thing about Portals that I love is that trumpet theme, that the trumpet solo at the very beginning is
Mhm.
so effective. It is great. It's like the lone trumpet representing like the lone soldier of Captain America walking out against this like massive army, and then it's just
Dude,
everything.
holy crap, that moment.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's epic. It's incredible. And so like, and then obviously everyone really likes you know, the Stark funeral music. I forget what that's called, but
Real Hero.
yeah,
Real
Real
Hero
Heroes.
might be my favorite personally.
Yeah,
But
Real Heroes really good.
yeah, everything you just said, Griffin. The Endgame score is the best MCU score for me.
Mhm.
This better get an Oscar nomination and win, because this is Alan Silvestri at his best. Like, this
Yeah.
man needs to win this Oscar, because holy crap, this score is incredible. Like
Mhm.
the opening scenes, like you said, with Tony Stark's message to Pepper, and just the sad music playing. Like, Tony Stark looks like he's gonna die. Like, this score is some of the saddest music I've heard in a superhero film. And
Mhm.
oh man, and just like you mentioned, the heist elements when they're in New York, when they do the time travel aspects, was great. They add in the Avengers theme, of course.
Mhm.
Silvestri really added in a lot of original themes in here. Portals is absolutely incredible. That's the part when all the characters, the dusted characters, come back, and it's
Mhm.
just so epic and so grand. Every MCU character you've loved just comes back, and then Cap getting Mjolnir. Oh my goodness, that score was amazing. And just the ending when Tony Stark dies, just real hero playing. I've never cried so much to a movie since Toy Story 3. Man, that
Yeah.
ending, I could not stop crying in the
Man, I was
theater.
dude, I was crying during the portal scene, man. I fucking like, that's where I
Dude,
lost it several times during this, but like that sequence genuinely, like I was, tears were streaming down my
dude,
face.
yeah,
I was just
dude.
overwhelmed with emotion.
Usually I don't comment when like epic moments, but I had to when Black Panther came back. Wakanda forever!
Yeah.
Like, everybody in my theater was just cheering, standing
Yeah.
ovation. Like, this is one of the movies where I'm completely okay if you stand up and cheer. Like,
Yeah.
this is epic at its finest.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Game of Thrones, how did you not have an epic finale like
Mhm.
this? That's a completely different subject, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, without a doubt, Endgame is my favorite score and Griffin's
Yep.
favorite MCU score as well.
Mhm.
All right,
Absolutely.
all right, guys, that is Griffin and I's top 10 favorite MCU scores. So, in the comment section below, if you're not in the chat right now, let us know your top 10 favorite MCU scores in the comment section below. Do you agree with Griffin and I's list or disagree? And let us know. And Griffin, thank you so much, man, for joining me in the top 10 original MCU scores list. This was a great, fun collab, man. And
Mhm.
before we go, tell my subscribers where they can find you on all your social media.
Yeah, if you want to listen to this asshole talk about how bad Civil War is, then you can go check out the Men versus Movies YouTube channel over there. We do, you know, movie reviews on a weekly basis. We do some TV recaps. We do a lot of podcasts, and then I also post the interviews that I do. At the press junkets for films on there as well. So if any of that entices you, you can feel free to head on over there. And if you want to give me a follow on Twitter personally, you can search at Griff Schiller.
Yes, guys, please go check out Griffin. All his social media links are in the description below for you guys to go check out. Go check out his channel because Griffin has a lot of amazing movie related content over there. And before we close off this video, let's go to the chat one last time. Aiden Green says his favorite film of all time is Endgame. And Jordan Sweet loves Ant-Man 1 and 2. Someone get that man a sequel.
Yeah.
I agree. There
Give me a
should be an
third one.
Ant-Man
Wrap
3.
up this trilogy. Yeah.
Abigail says, who's better, Hans Zimmer or John Williams? John Williams for me.
I say Hans Zimmer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dreary Doll, I wish Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch would get their own movie together because they're my favorite Avengers, or at least for Scarlet Witch to get her own movie.
She's getting her own TV series.
Yeah, hey, she's getting her own streaming service. That's what you get. And Aiden Green says, good night, Ryan. And that was the perfect transition to say good night, guys. Thank you so much for watching this live stream. If you guys are new here, feel free to click that subscribe button and that bell notification icon for more reviews, reactions, rankings, and more movie content. And guys, please go subscribe to my buddy Griffin. Channel link is in the description below. You will not be disappointed. And all of my social media links are in the description below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!